Peace, family. You know, I don't understand what the confusion is about the format or direction of my page. I think I've made it abundantly clear over and over again, but I see from time to time I'm going to have to do some house cleaning. Let me again specify the origin, the reason for my page. My page is for black people to come together to build their own independent means to sustain their own existence. There is no Democratic or Republican agenda that's going to properly address the needs and concerns of black people, period. Stop complaining when I talk about the Republicans and say that I'm voting and assume that I'm voting for the Democrats. The only reason why I participate in this political structure right now today is because this is the only system that black people have. And if you don't participate in this, then what's the point of complaining? One of my objectives is for us to just to try to stabilize this system long enough for us to come together, form our own means to sustain our own existence, and then abandon this system. Period. Let me say that. Here in Florida, they have a state of pay law where they can lock you up in prison. Once the judge sentences you to however long in jail, they automatically charge you $50 a month for $50 a day for each day of your incarceration, even if you get out early. It was a young lady that was there. She was sentenced to 10 years. She got out in 10 months. They billed her over $127,000 for each day of her sentence. Her lawyer was arguing the fact that she should only be charged for the time that she was in jail. And even if he was 100% successful in that argument, at $50 a day for 10 months, that would still be over $15,000. There's no Democrat or Republican solution to this problem, because there's no way you're going to sit up here and tell me that the right side of this bird is looking at what's happening to blacks on the Democratic side and not have no knowledge of it, and vice versa. For all the Republicans who sit up here and talk about the common sense legislation that they approach, that they have, that the Democrats don't have, there is no area in this country that display that. If there is a Republican solution to this Democratic nonsense, name me the city, state, and town that it resides in, and I will go there right now. There isn't. In the Democratic-run cities, it's just chaos. This is why we have to come up with our own means to sustain our own existence. Like I said, I don't understand why this is such a hard concept for people to grasp. This state of pay law, it is so much wrong with it. And see, the problem is the mentality of black people. You just want to look at the problem. You don't look at the surrounding ramifications of this problem. This state of pay law, they can lock people up. They can lock several people up and sentence them to 10 years each, and then turn around and let them out in 10 months. And each person that you release is indebted $127,000. That's a hustle right there. What's stopping this system from doing this? There's no limits. There's no accountability. Nothing. See, my situation, my thing is this. I want black people to have ownership and control and influence over their way of life. What you own, you can control. And once you get ownership and control, then you can influence those things around you. For example, let's say it was a McDonald's across the street that was discriminating against black people, and black people finally got frustrated enough to create their own fast food chain. Let's just call it Burger King. Inside this Burger King that we own and we can control, we can respect our people, we can hire our people, we can promote our people. And immediately around that area, now when all the black traffic in this area was going to the McDonald's, now it's going to start going to our Burger King. And if that McDonald's want to stay in business because they're in close proximity to our establishment, they're going to have to treat our people with respect. Without that Burger King there's no incentive for that McDonald's to change their treatment. This example applies to anything that black people participate in, period. It applies to our economics, our politics, our businesses, our industries, our institutions. If we don't create an alternative that we own and control, and then influence those around us, there's no incentive for these people, these institutions, to respect our people. It's as simple as that. I had a friend of mine that inboxed me this podcast of this idiot, Philip or whatever his name is. And, you know, like I said, the person that I am on this app, it's the same person you're going to see if we ever meet. I don't care for the Democrats or the Republicans. Don't send me no podcast or some idiot talking about some. Well, first of all, this guy Philip was talking about how Republicans are now competing with the Democrats for the black vote, which is a good thing, and it is a good thing. It's an excellent thing. But after that, everything he said after that was straight garbage. He was saying that if the Democrats don't give you nothing for your vote, and the Republicans don't give you nothing for your vote, he said take your vote to the couch. In other words, sit out the election. Don't vote for nobody. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I don't care what you said prior to that. I'm not going to hang my hat on the fact that you said that having Democrats and Republicans compete for our vote is a good thing, and overlook the fact that you telling black people if we don't get nothing from either party, don't vote at all. Take your vote to the couch. And what you supposed to do with it? Put it into the cushions? How do you hold these political parties at bay while you establishing your own way of life if you're not participating in the process? And when the Democrats or Republican, whichever party wins the election, how do you hold them accountable? You still subjected to their laws, their legislation, and you ain't put no votes in the tally. What's the point? You know, maybe sometimes I can get a little bit offensive because I questioned my man. I think he was telling me that he was studying political science or something like that, and I asked him, you know, and I think he got offended. And on my format, I apologize if I offended you. But my point of asking that question is, through your studies of political science, do they ever tell you if you don't get enough out of this system to create your own system? Why do you have to have a Democratic or Republican a savior when you can come together and create your own? You see, before these Europeans came into our community, we didn't know anything about no Democrat. We know nothing about no Republican. But we knew about self-determination. We knew about raising our children in a village setting. It takes a village to raise. These were the African proverbs. It takes a village to raise a child. Many hands make light work. When these Europeans came into our communities, they stripped us of all this mentality, all this, our spirituality. And then now we got us bouncing in between Democrats and Republicans. And now when you look back in history and you see the problems that was plaguing our people 50, 60, 80, 100 years ago, still plaguing us today, and somehow these people think that the solution can be found in either the Democratic or the Republican Party. It's ridiculous. Create your own. Like I say, we create our own alternative to the businesses, industries, and institutions that we need to sustain our existence. Within the boundaries of these institutions, we own it, we can control it, and we can determine our way of life. And outside of this, it's going to be the influence that's going to stop outside forces from ramaging through our community. Like I said with this state of pay law, they can let you out of prison in 10 months off a 10-year sentence. And now that you got to carry that with you when you go to get employment, when you go get a job, when you go get a promotion, when you go to get student loans, when you go to get Medicare, or whatever it is, that record goes with you. That's the influence. And then because this conviction is hindering your ability to repay the state, they can lock you up again and put you right back in jail, and then you are charged all over again for that full sentence. And without resistance, they can do this to you several times, and nobody, left or right, is going to do anything about it. Black people, we live in a community that has no roof, no front door, no back door, and all the windows are open. Whatever evil presence is outside of our community can run roughshod straight through ours, and nothing is stopping it. Nothing. We don't have no barriers, no filters, nothing. Because we don't have ownership and control or influence over our community. We don't have unity, we don't have love, we don't have respect for each other. For black people to sit up here and say that they align themselves so closely with our oppressor, that you allow these fools to educate your children, you allow these fools to feed your children, to train them, to hire them, to borrow from them, and with no resistance, none whatsoever, no alternative to hold these people at bay. This is ridiculous. Where is the commonality that blacks and whites have that you will let these people have authority over one institution of our way of life? So if you're struggling to find the commonality to put your child's health, your child's education, your child's employment, your child's future, if you can't comfortably say, I can put this in white people's hands and they will treat my child as if it was their child, if you can't do that for one, how do we do it for all? So again, let me be clear. This page, this format is not about it's not about Democrat or Republican. It is about black people coming together, building their own independent means to sustain our own existence. I want my people to live in a world where when Whitey wake up in the morning and put his feet on the ground, that there's nothing that they can do to adversely affect the lives of our people. Period. even if he wanted to. That's the world I want my people to live in. And every day we get up, we are supporting businesses, industries, and institutions that promote our way of life. I had a friend of mine tell me that, well, Jonathan, can we create our own laws? Of course we can create our own laws. How? By building our own businesses, industries, and institutions that support our way of life. Within this is how you make your own laws. When you are going and primarily going to the businesses, industries, and institutions of our oppressors, you are supporting their laws. This is an easy fix, people. As long as you're working for them, you got to abide by their laws. You work for yourself, you can establish your own laws. No Democratic president, no Republican president is ever going to offer you that. Oh, you know what? And I forgot. This idiot Philip on this podcast was talking about how the Republicans can get the black vote. He said, just talk about reparations. The Democrats aren't going to do anything about reparations. They want cash reparations. You go to the black people and start talking about cash reparations, then you can get the black vote. You dumb mother effer. What do you... And, it's sad that our people are in such a state of mind that they can listen to a fool like this and be taken by him. What sense does it make for you to give people a cash incentive and call that reparations when your body is still damaged? You get into a car accident and you take it to the shop, and the shop just give you money, and you drive your broken car out the shop, and now that's reparations. You ain't speaking your own language. You ain't worshiping your own God. You ain't respecting your elders, your legacy. No, nothing about you after this accident is like it was before the accident. But they're just gonna give you cash and everything's supposed to be all right. Reparations is the restoration of our people. The actions and behaviors that was consistent to these people before this incident, after reparations, you should not be able to tell a nickel's worth of difference between the after effect and before. Don't sit up here and tell me that reparations can be done in money while you still taking that money to the people who oppressed you, the people who enslaved you, the people who marginalized you. It's sad. All the actions and behaviors of all these social groups, these black leaders, put you right in line to everything that Whitey needs you to do to maintain their authority. Nothing that we do as an organization, as a people, step outside the boundaries of what whites have laid for us. You're still working for them. You're still being employed for them. You're still looking up to them. You're still supporting their businesses. How is that reparations? This is why I call this guy an idiot. Because of the mentality like that. And then the sad part is it resonates with you Negroes. It resonates with you. And I'm the bad guy. I want you to speak your own language. I want you to go back to the way we were loving and caring for each other, respecting each other. Tell the woman that you with that you love her in your own native tongue. Be proud parents of your children, proud of your wives, proud of your husbands. I want us to be exactly what God intended us to be, examples to the world. You cannot do worldly things and be living a life that God intended for us to be. I want us to live the life that God intended for us, and I want us to reject the life that the white man has need us to be. They need us to be dysfunctional, disorganized, um, quick to anger amongst each other. We continue this enslavement, this mentality, the dysfunction. When you look at black communities and you see the crimes hitting our people in much larger proportion than anybody else, this is exactly why. This is exactly why. What I'm trying to do and what I'm going to do is get my people back in order. And it's as simple as this. Either you want to do it or you don't. Nobody's forcing you to make a decision. It's up to you. And ain't nobody's dragging you along to come. Either you come willingly or you don't. And I don't see any economic, no political, no industrial, no judicial reason why any black person in their right mind would want to put one more dime into this system and stop and not start investing in their own. It's just as simple as that. So this video is a little bit longer than I intended it to be, but it's as long as it needed to be. So I hope this finally answer this question. I'm neither Democrat or Republican. I'm about black independence, and that's it.